three figures. One wears a mask of an emotionless man. One hides behind the plastic smile of a doll. And one wears a pin-up girl disguise, cold, silent, and merciless. They arrive uninvited, strike without reason, and leave behind nothing but fear. They are the strangers. But here's the question we've all asked. Who are these killers? Were they just fictional monsters? Or were they born from real nightmares that once haunted America? Let's peel back the mask, one by one.
And that's exactly why we chose to examine this case. We started this channel to bring you real stories, the ones that blur the line between truth and legend. Hit that subscribe button and join us for the next one.
He is the most terrifying of the three, towering, silent, faceless, the man in the mask, and his roots can be traced back to one of the darkest chapters in American history.
They were vicious, just horrible killings.
The Manson family murders of 1969. Charles Manson was not the one who killed with his hands. Instead, he controlled minds.
Very powerful person. When he said jump, they jumped.
With a twisted philosophy he called Helter Skelter.
And the real world is the one I have to deal with every day,
He believed an apocalyptic race war was coming, and he wanted to ignite it. So, he ordered his followers to kill.
If I wanted to kill somebody, I'd take this book and beat you to... and I wouldn't feel a thing. It'd be just like walking to the drugstore.
On August 8th, 1969, a group of his followers broke into the Los Angeles home of actress Sharon Tate, who was 8 months pregnant. What happened inside that house was pure horror. Sharon Tate and 4 others were brutally murdered. The killers weren't strangers. They were ordinary-looking young people manipulated into becoming monsters. The image of faceless, soulless killers who kill without personal motive. That's the DNA of the man in the mask. Silent, commanding, and completely detached from humanity.
Believe me, if I started murdering people, there'd be none of you left.
Next, the doll mask. Innocent at first glance, but hiding something sinister underneath. This character draws inspiration from a lesser-known but deeply disturbing case, the Keddie Cabin Murders of 1981. In a small, quiet cabin in Keddie, California, Sue Sharp and her children were living a modest life. One night, unimaginable violence unfolded. Sue, her son John, and John's friend Dana were brutally murdered. The scene was horrifying. Duct tape, binding wires, and multiple weapons used in a frenzy of cruelty. To this day, the case remains unsolved. No one truly knows who did it or why. The killers vanished into the night, leaving only questions and scars that the community never healed from. That unsolved mystery. Killers who arrive suddenly, destroy everything, and disappear into the darkness feeds directly into Dollface's character, a smiling mask with no identity behind it, a reminder that sometimes the most terrifying monsters are the ones we never catch. Now comes the third stranger, Pin-Up Girl. Unlike the other two, her story isn't from a famous headline. Her inspiration is more personal, drawn directly from the memories of the film's director, Brian Bertino. When Bertino was a child, he lived in a quiet suburban neighborhood. One evening, while home alone, someone knocked on his door. When he answered, a stranger asked for a person who didn't live there. Later, Bertino discovered that the same people had been knocking on doors throughout the area and breaking into the homes that turned out to be empty. That chilling memory stayed with him for years. The fear of realizing that violence can come without warning, without reason, right to your doorstep. From that experience came Pin-Up Girl, the embodiment of senseless violence, of strangers who choose victims not because of who they are, but simply because they were home. Now here's the disturbing truth. None of these inspirations, Manson, Keddy, or Bertino's childhood, were about robbery or revenge. They were about random cruelty. That's what The Strangers captures so perfectly. The terror of being chosen at random. Because when the victims in the film ask, "Why us?" the killers answer with 3 words that still chill audiences today. Because you were home.
Who are they? Why are they doing this?
Does there have to be a why?
This is the story that made The Strangers unforgettable. Not gore, not jump scares, but the terror of being chosen at random for no reason at all. But here's the twist. Before we blur the line between fact and fiction, let's make one thing clear. The Strangers is not a direct retelling of the Manson murders. It's not a recreation of the Keddy cabin case. And the killers in the movie are not real. They are fictional. The masks, the identities, the kills, none of them belong to real people. They were shaped from fragments of history and memory, molded together to create pure cinematic terror. Yes, the film's marketing leaned on the phrase "inspired by true events," but that was for shock value, for publicity. In truth, these characters are works of fiction. They are masks we fear, not people we can name. And maybe, and a voice asks for someone you don't know, remember this story, because sometimes the scariest strangers are the ones that never take off their mask. But if you think this was disturbing, what comes next will make you question everything you thought you knew about safety inside your own home. Imagine walking into a house and finding 11 family members, brothers, sisters, children, even the grandmother, hanging together in one room. No sign of struggle, no forced entry, just silence. Just a diary whispering rules of a ritual no one outside the family understood. That's the Burari case. And once you hear it, you'll never sleep the same way again.